Hey guys, it's a new year, 2023, and it's time to do another shop tour, specifically because everything that can be moved in the shop has been moved since the last shop tour. So time to give another update. So I'm not going to try and make you think that I have a cooler shop than I actually do. I'm in my basement. This is kind of the personal side of the basement, washer and dryer and stuff. Here's the shop side of the basement. Thankfully enough for me, all great companies have their start in the basement, so I'm in the right place, I guess. So let's get to it. The newest addition to the shop, which I am probably most excited about, is a photo booth. I've been needing a photo booth for the longest time. I got all the wiring up here. This little guy over here, it's usually just more of like a fill light. I can turn that on. I got this light up here that comes down because I don't want to walk into it. Obviously 3D printed clips and mounts. So all these are dial adjust the warmth and all that good stuff. And then so the camera is set up here. And let me just talk a minute about this. So this is kind of a shame to say, but I would say probably like 80 to 90% of the reason why I haven't brought new products to market is stinking product photography. It is just the bane of my existence. It's so frustrating. I'm so intimidated by it, and I have a really high standard. I want a really nice product photo. You spend all this time making it, you want it to look nice. And then what I had before just sucked and didn't work. And I take a picture of one product one day, and then like 3 months later have another product, and I'm putting both my website and the thumbnails look completely different from one another. Here I can just get consistent results every time. I don't need to set it up. I can just come in like I did today, plop products down. I don't really need to adjust any of the lighting, don't have to adjust the cameras, the exact same camera settings. So really kind of a lean manufacturing as far as product photography is concerned. Another thing I noticed is if I have a product here and I want a certain angle, I would turn it a little to the angle, then I'd come over here to where the camera is. I'd be like, that's a little too far to the left, let's turn it to the right. And like, I went too far to the right, let's come back and adjust it. So I actually have a live view monitor here, so I can just look at the positioning, and then I can hook up my little remote shutter button right here, so I can just adjust it, snap, adjust it another angle, snap, and it's super quick. I took, I think seven new products I took pictures of today, probably about 20 to 30 photos in probably about 30 minutes. Really quick. That's never happened before. So I have no excuse not to bring new products to market now. So if it's the end of the year and I have no new products on my website, chide me or something in the comments, because I don't have any excuses anymore. So that is I'm super excited about, because it was such a frustrating point of frustration for me for so long. So all right, putting this away so no one bonks themselves on it. Okay, so there's that. Now on to some other stuff. So this area is dedicated to holster manufacturing. This is my brother-in-law's area. He manufactures holsters. I talk about that more in the previous video. We went into that in a little more detail. Workstation, that is an old relic that will be sold on Marketplace pretty soon here. Just a wire shelf to hold product photography stuff, which actually I don't really use anymore. So I do a lot of hose adapters that I sell. Here's a huge reducer for the 10-inch AC Infinity fan. These are the ones I was taking product photos of today. So a lot of my products are for these fans, and so if I'm testing a new product, I can just come down here, grab a fan, do test fitting, things like that. If I shoot in a video, grab a video, show it in a product feature video, things like that. All the different hoses, everything I need to kind of test new products and things like that. So that's that. This is the newest piece of equipment. I'll kind of come around this way, I guess. Maybe if you want to come around the other side, we can switch. And hopefully I don't get tangled up in my mic cord here. So this is the ZenBot CNC 4x8 router. I got this probably about 5 months ago. The ability to cut a 4x8 sheets of acrylic has been really nice. So last year, my window inserts, plexiglass window inserts that I've been selling really started to take off, and I got swamped with orders last year. And for people that needed a bigger size window insert for their crank out windows, I was cutting them by hand with a circular saw, and it took forever. And so I was swamped. I had to shut my website down about 3 different times, just say the products were sold out because I couldn't keep up with it. And it wasn't that I was getting tons of orders, it was just it was taking so long to do one order. So at the end of the summer, I invested in this bad boy to help me produce those window inserts for crank-out windows. So this is primarily for crank-out windows. The rest of my business for window inserts is sliding windows. So really liking this, really liking the plumbing I have for the hose. I had 25 feet of flex hose and it was just all janky, like hanging down from the ceiling. And then I just did a hard pipe with the PVC and that works great. So, and then I have this on a remote switch if it works right away. Yeah, so just a little switch here, turns on the router and the vacuum, ready to go. A few bits I have stored back there. So that's that little 3D printed hose mount. This I made too. It's version 1, but you know, it's good enough for now. Also, down here, so I made the table for this guy. Someone needs to silence their phone. So this shelf right here can hold sheets of acrylic, and then this one down here is to package. I got 4x8 sheets of cardboard, and then down here I have 4x4 sheets of cardboard to package up those really large window insert orders. So we can kind of move over to this section now. So this section, which is probably like an 11 foot by 11 foot work area, is specifically geared towards window inserts for sliding windows. There is nothing else that happens here. This over there with the 4x8 router, that is specifically for crank-out windows. This whole area is specifically for sliding windows, except for the packaging. If I have a crank-out window, I'll package it over here too. So this whole area, it's funny because before, probably in the last shop tour, this area looked sexy and it looked cool and it was a cool backdrop for videos and stuff. I had every kind of tool you could think of on the wall. And then I had the great purge of 2022 happen. I just kind of looked at everything and I kind of called all my tools to account, like brand new DeWalt table saw. What is it that you do for Martinson Manufacturing? How are you moving the business forward? And most of my tools couldn't give me an answer, so I got rid of them. Sold a ton of tools, just purged everything that's not related to the business of creating exhaust venting solutions. And specifically in this area, window vent kits, window inserts. So I'll kind of take you through a quick little workflow of what it looks like for me to make a window insert for a sliding window. I've spent a ton of time on this, several weeks, probably maybe a few months, just kind of designing the whole workflow, mapping out workflow, even counting steps. It's not as efficient as it could be, but it's a lot better. I cut my time down by at least half from what it used to be. So a typical workflow so it depends on what hose you're using. So if you're venting a 4-inch diameter hose, which is the most common hose, you're going to get a window insert that is 8 inches wide, which gives you 2 inches on each end. So the most common size I get is 36 inches. So I would grab this guy right here. So I have 36, 48, 60, and then we get up to, if you're using a 6-inch hose, these are 10 inches wide. Again, about 36, 48, 60. And then I rarely get people using an 8-inch wide hose. These are 12-inch wide. So all of these are kind of already pre-cut to size, to cut to standard sizes, and they require minimal processing. So I'll just use this little piece since it'll be easier to demonstrate. So typically I'll just grab a piece. First I'll take my phone and stick it up here, and then I'll just look at all my orders for the day. And okay, let's say John needs a window insert for his sliding window, 4-inch hose, no vent cover, standard hose adapter, and it's 29 3/4 inches long. And so I'd come over here, grab my piece. I used to pull a tape measure, don't have to do that anymore. I have the tape measure already attached to my workbench, so I can just grab the piece, line it up, whatever it happened to be. Let's say actually 19 3/4 is what this thing is. I can snap that down to hold it in place, get my saw, and cut it to size, really quick motion, and then that's done. The previous way of cutting this was on my table saw, and it took forever. Grab that, clean up a little bit, boom, onto the next step, really quick. Next step is, if it's a small one like this, I put it in my Glowforge and cut the hole. So I'll put this in here, slide it in here, and if you want to see on top, I have a little jig on the inside, and this is specifically for window inserts that have a 4-inch hose that they're using. So if someone has a different size hose, which is going to be a wider insert, take this, flip it around, and now I have a jig that's going to put it in here and place it perfect every time. And so I know at that size, when I go into the app, this is going to be placed 10 inches in my X and 6 inches in my Y. So it's the exact same every time. So that speeds up. This just kind of holds it for the long ones. So after that's cut to size, I have another little jig over here to help hold the window insert while I attach the hose adapter. So if you have a smaller window insert, it'll go right here. If you have a really tiny one, I'll put it up here. The goal is for me to do all the processing kind of at eye level. If you have a really longer one, maybe like 36 inches long, it'll drop down into here on another rest, and it's usually a little higher. And then if you're 48 inches, you're dropping all the way down to the bottom. So I have a jig to keep this at eye level for whatever height of a window insert that you have. So I'd hold it here, grab my drill, grab my screws, and then I would stick this guy through, and then I'd just start drilling these guys in place. I won't do a whole demonstration for you. Boom. Obviously I get the rest of the screws, but you get the idea, and then that is processed right there. If you need a vent cover, I have vent covers made up here. I put it in the wrong way. This would get attached. I would have obviously 4 other holes punched with my laser cutter, and that would get attached there too if you want something to prevent drafts from kind of coming in your exhaust hose. So I was buying these on Amazon from anywhere from $7 to $14. I just started 3D printing my own. So I like that a lot better. So these hose adapters, 3D printed a whole bunch just to have on stock for me, so I can just, when I need to process an order, I can just grab, go and assemble and be off to the races. I am coming out with a new twist lock design that enables you to quickly attach and remove your hose from the window insert. And I have a bunch of these already made up. You'll take your hose, this will actually thread onto your hose, and then there'll be cutouts which interface with the tabs here. You can put it in your window insert, twist it, locks into place, disconnect it. That's actually what I got up here. So I'll show you that real quick. I can just twist, pull it out, and then I can close my window for the day and be done with it. And which is nice for this one because I can still take advantage of the insulating properties of my window. I don't have to keep the window open all the time. So that's a nice solution. So from here, I would just box it up. And this is my Wall O boxes. I don't know, that's probably about $700 to $800 worth of boxes. So yes, that's a nice collection. So I have these kind of color-coded and organized by the width of insert, either an 8-inch box, 10-inch box, or a 12-inch box. And then common lengths. The most common lengths I have is a 36-inch box, 8 inches wide, which is for a 4-inch hose. That's why this one's a little empty there. But yeah, from the bottom, quick color coordination. All the blues are 24. Either you have an 8, 10, or 12. And then coming up, these are 30-inch long boxes, which are less common. Most common is 36, 40, and then if you have a really long one, we're at 48. I have a few other non-standard size boxes that are just kind of scattered over here. So that's that. So I just grab a box, put it over here, and then just start packaging it up. So for this one, this is only, 19 3/4. So I'd grab a 24-inch box and start boxing it up. I won't go through the whole boxing process for you because that's a little boring. Up here, I have standard size edge protectors. I want to keep this from getting damaged during shipping. So I'd grab my box. This one right here is 24-inch long edge protectors. The length of the edge protectors correspond to the lengths of the boxes. They're all standard sizes. So this fits into a 24-inch long box perfectly. Typically put that in there, grab a few other ones, stick them on the side. You can just imagine that we're inside of a box right now, but I'm not going to go through the whole process for you. And then typically I would grab another piece of cardboard down here and fold it. I have another kind of little jig for that of a box that is 8-inch wide is going to be bent right here. Then I'm just going to kind of accordion this thing, and then I'm going to spread it out in your window insert, something kind of like that, to prevent, to be used for crush protection so the box doesn't just crush right here. And then tape it up. I love magnets, they're great. Tape dispenser, love this guy, magnetic right there, tape it up. Then I'm throwing on a Martinson Manufacturing label, because, you know, branding is cool and important. And then I normally have a laptop set up right here. And then I have a label printer right here. So I just, Pirate Ship, if you ever use that, I love that. I have all these boxes and the weights of the window inserts programmed into Pirate Ship. So I can just type in, okay, that was a 8x24 box. I just select that, it already has the weight, and I can just print off a label, slap it on there, and then there you go. Sometimes if I need to cut these down to smaller sizes, I'll just come over here, foot pedal, cut it down to size a little bit. Foot pedal activates a vacuum, which, you know, I don't know, it probably picks up like 20% of the dust, but at 20% I don't have to pick up, I guess. So so that's basically it. This shop that used to be for everything and nothing at the same time, but now it has been refined down and focused to window inserts, at least this area. So my 3D printed products that I sell, my adapters are all printed by family members. Mother-in-law at one place, another place, brother-in-law, sister-in-law, they print all the parts, do the packaging, and so I just focus on the window inserts here. And this year I've really gotten a lot more kind of focus and vision and just kind of really narrowed down what my business is about, which is exhaust venting solutions primarily for laser cutters, a ton of usage for portable air conditioners, basically any machine that needs to be vented out the window. I want to be your one-stop shop to provide solutions for you for that. So that's kind of what the business is about. So thanks for tagging along on this shop tour, and I'll be sure to give you guys an update when it changes again.